Thank you, Haley. I love it when OBS just resets to default, even though on my computer, default is this microphone. Welcome, 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 everybody. My name is Oz. I am a variety streamer. I am a grief positive, death positive, mental health positive snack goblin. And tonight I am tired. Default is whatever it wants to be. This is very true. Tonight we are joining Damien Halme in a talk, a just chatting on Dee's discourse about the Mandela Effect. If anybody else, it's Dee's fault. Yes, it is always Dee's fault. I'm kidding. We will be playing some House Flipper while we talk about the Mandela Effect with Damien Halme. And what use is he's not playing for things? It's quite a bit of use. If anybody else would like to join in the discussion, he is in his Discord server. Anybody that would like to talk is welcome to come and discuss. So, all are welcome. I am going to hop into Discord with him right now.
Like a to-do list.
Hello.
Well, hello, the streamer of Oz.
I like how as soon as I hop into your chat, I hear crickets. Like it's trying to say something.
Yeah, it's not you.
Mhm.
That is because of Risa.
Oh.
Hello. Hi. Welcome, everybody. Have you prompted your audience as to the topic of tonight?
Yes, I have.
Why you are here? Does everybody on your side of things know what the effect that we're discussing is?
I will let you explain.
Sure. To put it very shortly, the Mandela Effect is something that is different now than what you remembered some time ago. Not so much as just yesterday. These are usually points of nostalgia. To put it longer, Nelson Mandela was a politician and leader of the people in South Africa during apartheid. And a bunch of people seemed to believe that they remember something about him that didn't happen, that he was locked away in prison. He was. And that he passed away in prison. So when they saw him alive and well, maybe 5-10 years after that belief started to spread, they started to doubt the world and say, well, that something's wrong. Well, that's not Nelson Mandela. Well, he how did they resurrect him? It's a paid actor. Or they switched timelines on us and aliens are manipulating everything. Something like that, you know.
Yeah. I have turned down my chat beeps. Hopefully that is much more tolerable. Haley says like Berenstain versus Berenstein. There's actually an explanation for that one.
So the Berenstain Bears are a series of children books featuring a family of bears. What's the explanation between why people think the ending of the name was Stein, Berenstain?
Because there was a certain period during a company handoff to another family member where they attempted to change the name, and very shortly after only a few years, they changed it back. And so there is some products out there that do say one versus the other.
Got it. So if you were a little at just the wrong time, and that was you were being introduced to these books, that might be the whole world you know. You only knew STEIN. And then people come at you much later on and say, it's Stain, it's AIN. And you're like, you're all messing with me. I know what I know.
Rogeria says Chick-fil-A versus CHIC, no K, filet.
That one just seems like a bad misremembering to me. I've always seemed to remember that there was a K because all of their advertisements had K prominently in it, as though the really bad spelling of their name was deliberate because it was done by cows that wanted you to eat chicken instead of beef. That was their viral advertising, right?
Yeah.
Every advertisement, every billboard, it featured a whole bunch of cows like just out of frame with like it was obvious that they had done the text, and the text was all wonky, some sort of proprietary Comic Sans.
Yeah.
And it's always like eat more chicken, but when they say eat more chicken, it's always like with K's, extra K's, and no missing C's. It's like it's bad. It's exactly like the puppo speech of modern times.
Yeah.
Whereas CHIC sounds too cool, because that's also the French word for cool. Chic. Be chic filet. And they're not that cool. I still freak out when they tell me my pleasure after I say thank you, because I'm a thank you saying person. I say thank you to almost anything that anyone ever does for me. And for every single Chick-fil-A employee at every single location ever to say my pleasure is the result is a little culty. It's a little freaky.
It is.
It bothers me.
Armand says, I feel stupid today. It turns out my spark plug wires had shorted to each other, and that was what caused my rough idle. Also finally found the bad solenoid that's likely going to fix my stalling problem. We'll have parts tomorrow. You know what? You're not stupid. This has been a journey for you, and just because it took you until now to figure out what the problem was does not make you stupid. It makes you learning.
Yeah. I was going to say, didn't he die after getting out of prison? Not immediately. So let's see. Many people believe that he died in the 1980s, but he was released from prison in 1990. Afterwards became the president of South Africa, and he didn't die until 2013. So to say he was released from prison and died, it kind of skipped over an important part where he got to do some prezi work.
Yeah, that seems to exclude quite a bit of information.
Yeah. The Chick-fil-A was a marketing ploy with the cows, yes. There are other words in those billboards that were spelled incorrectly. Yeah. I think they did it because they were ashamed of how Chick was spelled in Chick-fil-A. You ever notice how brands that have some weird negative thing about them, they try to spin it into something positive in big marketing ploys?
Yeah.
Like Apple Jacks being a fruity breakfast cereal that's called Apple Jacks, and the taste testing for it proved that people decided this tastes sweet but not like apples actually. And if you have a food that's called apple something and doesn't taste like the fruit that you called it, what are you doing with your life? But they made a marketing ploy that the kids eating them didn't care because they just loved the flavor of their favorite cereal, and the adults were uncool for questioning why they didn't taste like apples. But of course, making parents look uncool is a very popular marketing ploy for anything kid-related, right?
Of course.
I remember commercials for bubble tape bubble gum, where
I loved bubble tape.
in order to sell it to little kids, I liked it too. I had a lot of bubble tapes. Um, in order to sell it to kids, they made really nasty caricature adults and decided that they would make them want bubble tape, and the commercial denied those people. And their motto was that it's a bubble gum that's for you, i.e. the kids, not them, i.e. the nasty, pimply, pudgy adults in your life.
I see.
Yeah, it's pretty rude. I mean, he died right after getting out, just in general, sometime after being released. Yeah. He did some big things in his life. But he didn't die in prison in the 80s. I feel bad that he's probably more popularly known on the internet now for the Mandela Effect than for being anti-apartheid in South Africa, though.
Yeah. Finished last of my birthday cake. I'm sorry, Kale. That's always a sad day.
Kale has birthdays?
I asked the same question. I was like, I thought you were an eternal being. How does that work?
Yeah. What's the birth that you're celebrating? It could be someone else's birth.
Maybe
or the birth of
maybe it's
something
the
that
birth of
Kale-
human recognition.
Sure. Or the birth of something Kale manifested into the universe that will slowly consume us all.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty understandable.
Yeah. Jay, what's up? Jay says Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia, and they lied about never having one.
Yeah, they
That
did.
one was a long time Mandela effect. And Fruit of the Loom was like, yeah, it's just one of those things. It's Mandela. It's Mandela.
They're
It's
like, we
the
want to be
bears."
cool. We want to be cool. No, you're not
Mhm.
fucking cool. You're just a whole bunch of fucking liars.
You all don't remember it because it never happened. Because it's Mandela effect. We're cool like the rest of them. No, you're a bunch of liars. I don't particularly remember the cornucopia or not.
I do.
But, yeah, people came with the evidence. Haley says they even put a timeline of their logo on the website and left the cornucopia out of it. Yikes.
Mm-hmm. They
Jerks.
really tried very hard to push the lie.
Mm-hmm. Why push so hard? Why lie so deep?
Sometimes people really just need to be loved, and they just feel so unloved as they're not part of the cool kid group.
Oh, I see. Do you have any particular misrememberings, Oz?
Joanne versus Joanne's Fabrics.
Hmm. That's a weird one too, because if it was always Joanne, and I've seen the stores before they started to go bankrupt, they all say Joanne, right?
Yeah.
I think that's weird. No other store is just like the name of a person.
Yeah.
Like the other big craft store, Michael. It wouldn't be called Michael.
No.
Like, hey, do you want to go to Michael?
That'd
That would
be
be
weird.
Nobody would want to say that. What about like sporting goods? There's one called
Dick Sporting Goods. Like, oof. That could
Wanna go
get
to
you in a
Dick's?
lot of trouble.
Yeah. Do you want to go to Dick with me?
It just sounds like a person who's been really trying to hit on you and absolutely not doing a very good job.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it should be Michael's and Dick's, and therefore it should be Joanne's. It sounds like that's what makes sense. And so maybe I think we don't remember Joanne as being Joanne because it's a bad idea for a name.
Yeah. Also, Kennedy says Fruit Loops, Fruit, or Fruit Loops, Froot. I remember Froot.
I think I do too, but I don't. This is not a cereal that I had.
I had it a lot as a kid.
Okay. I would just imagine, like, what do you do with the kid cereal? You make it janky and fun for kids. And Loops has two O's. And
Yeah.
fruit rhymes. So why not make the word fruit stupid and look like Loops because it rhymes with Loops? It just sounds like something a marketer would do.
Yeah, and that's how it is on the box.
So that is how it is? Okay. I don't actually know that one, so.
Haley B says, I remember an off-brand using fruit, F-R-O-O-T, but the OG being fruit, F-R-U-I-T.
Huh. Okay. That's weird. But I guess the generics can try all sorts of shady, underhanded stuff to get their product to be famous. Jay said it used to be called Chicks Sporting Goods before Dick's. What happened there? Why not leave it as Chicks? If it's a name, anyways. Or is it that people took offense because they thought, like, they were using sexist language or something like that? I know, like, didn't Chick used to kind of be a name or a nickname back in the day? Like a guy's name? To me, that one doesn't... I don't know why they would change it.
No.
Unless, again, they got just, like, negative pressure from everybody. Like, oh, don't call it that, or we'll stop buying your stuff. Haley said I worked at Dick's. That's better than saying I worked at Dick.
So...
Although, here's another Mandela Effect, and it's related directly to that one, so definitely a problem with bad nomenclature. And that is JCPenney. JCPenney also does not have an apostrophe S. Just like Joanne. And I'll wager there's plenty of you listening that think it should have been JCPenney's, or has been JCPenney's all along.
Yeah, this seems really weird.
Yeah, Chick Hearn's famous voice of the Lakers. That chick, yeah. That's not the same chick that opened these sporting goods stores, is it? I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah, Kennedy, we already talked about the Berenstain versus Berenstein. So, did you know that in the Oxford Dictionary it is an informal North American word. It is Fruit Loop, F-R-U-I-T-L-O-O-P. It means a crazy or foolish person.
I've probably heard that in a cartoon or something like that. Someone made fun of someone, called them that.
It's probably part of the reason why people have such a confusion about it, is because it used to be a term.
Sure. That would make the cereal even more, I don't know, apropos then. It's like, oh, we're making fun of a meme. You've heard people been called Fruit Loops. Here's a cereal of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haley says it's JCPenney's for sure. I refuse to accept otherwise. My middle sister used to work there, so I know there's no apostrophe S.
Kennedy says, did you talk about Shazam? We have not talked about Shazam.
No.
Are you familiar?
I think what people are confusing is a Sinbad movie and a Shaquille O'Neal movie, right?
Yep.
That the thing?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the real thing? What's the confusion? Because I definitely never watched Shazam.
It's because, let's see, Shazam. Well, now apparently there's a 2019 movie that's also called Shazam.
Watch, they made it just because people were like, I swear there was a movie. And then some Hollywood execs checked and they're like, there's no movie called Shazam. But since everybody thinks there is, we're going to take the name. Jay says, did you know that in the Oxford Dictionary, gullible is spelled wrong? I know what you're doing, Jay. This isn't my first live stream. I know a troll when I smell one.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure last time I checked, the Oxford Dictionary under gullible had a picture of Jay.
It says under, somebody said, we found Sinbad's Shazam Genie movie. They made quote unquote real footage of the movie after people kept saying he portrayed a genie in a film in the 90s. The costume that led to this misconception was worn by Sinbad during a television presentation of Sinbad the Sailor movies in 1994. The movie isn't real, but the fake footage is.
That's funny. I like that. Just take everybody's confusion and say, you know what? Let's make fun of it.
Right?
Let's own it. Haley says, many individuals vividly recall 1990s. Did you just read all this?
Huh?
Did you read Haley's chat? Was that what you were reading, or were you reading some other source?
I'm not reading your chat.
Okay. So
I don't have our chats combined. Do you have our chats combined?
Gotcha. No, I don't. I do not. Haley says, many individuals vividly recall a 1990s film titled Shazam, featuring comedian Sinbad as a genie who aids two children on a magical journey. Despite these detailed memories, no evidence supports the existence of such a movie. Though Shazam from 2019 is a superhero movie based on a comic book character. French makes the cutscenes go faster. Yeah, isn't French the fastest of them? I've done it in French. I've done it in Japanese before.
The Shaq movie is actually called Kazam.
That's where people are gonna. But then, see, here's the thing. I don't mind them getting Kazam and Shazam confused. They're two just silly words that makes sense.
Yeah.
But getting Sinbad and Shaq confused is weird to me.
Okay, do you want to see why? I will.
Sure.
So let's see. Here is the Kazam cover.
The only reason why I wouldn't do cutscene skipping as a healer is because it's harder to survive. If I'm tanking in MSQ, sometimes I'll do the cutscene skipping stuff. By your chats combined, I am Captain Planet. Your delivery for that? Hey, what I do. It's what I do for a living. Or what I'm trying to do for a living, I should say.
Here, hold on.
Not the Mandela, but the Power Rangers TMNT combo was sick. Wait, there was a combo with them, or are you trolling me again? That one I actually don't know. Did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles combine power?
Check your Discord.
Okay. You know, I think you can actually post image links straight into my live stream chat.
I suppose this is
Oh, yeah.
true.
That's, those are... Well, I mean, the one's fake, though.
Yes,
So you're
but
saying
I'm saying that this is part of the
inconceivable
reason.
people would confuse this?
Yes.
But it's probably because the top one's fake. For confusion's sake.
I get that.
I'm just saying, how could you confuse them too?
I'm just saying. I'm not saying I do, but I'm just saying people do.
All right, let's take a look at this Ninja Turtles Power Rangers thing.
I remember them both. They both came out around the same time, like Armageddon and Deep Impact, or A Bug's Life and Ants. I honestly never saw... Well, you know what? I don't remember if I saw Kazam. I feel like I would need to see it again. There's a part of me that feels like it is and is not, like, familiar. You can absolutely post a link. Haley.
So this is a real thing. Boom Studios, Hasbro's, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers / Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. #1, cover art by Dan Mora. That looks like it could be fun. recent too. 2019, they did a 5-issue miniseries, and then 2022 a sequel series. Good stuff. They're all the turtles on one of the 90s Power Rangers shows. Oh, on the TV show too? Interesting. Have to check on that too. Power Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles team up. Is this real or fan-made? 4th episode of the Power Rangers in space. I got to go to the Ranger Wiki. That's my trusted source for all Power Rangers news. For all the stuff when I follow so much Power Ranger things. There they are. Shaking hands. Red Ranger and Leo. Interesting. I definitely didn't watch Power Rangers in space. But there it is. Air date 1998. The Ninja Turtles were randomly teleported. What a Deus Ex Machina. Also more recently, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman. Interesting. Power Ranger TV show and TMNT. Oh, okay, you weren't talking about. Yeah, apparently they made comic series after that.
Never saw Kazam. I only saw Shazam, says Kennedy. Power Rangers Turbo teamed up with TMNT for an episode in space. I thought it was Turbo. They fought a pizza monster.
That makes sense.
Haley says, the crazy thing about the Sinbad situation is that Sinbad himself was the one who said, I didn't do a movie, but I did host something on TV dressed as a genie.
That could have been it too. If he just dressed as a genie for funsies. Jay saw both Kazam and Shazam.
TMNT
So
versus Batman was a good watch if you like super cartoons. All right.
Yeah, Jay was just talking about that too.
Nice.
I could see that being weird though, because Batman's so serious. But maybe that's the fun. You put him with a bunch of goofy characters. Surround him with teenagers. Here's a question. Is there a canon as to why they're teenagers for so long? Or do they ever grow up in any sort of alt-universe version of the comics?
You wish a sequel was out for TMNT versus Batman? They bought it on Amazon. Sinbad lies, just like Fruit of the Loom.
I think being a genie on a show is pretty significantly different than having a whimsical genie movie that people seem to remember that didn't actually exist. Although it was sad when the cowboy on Pee-wee Herman's Pee-wee's Playhouse, passed away.
Yeah.
Just talking about whimsical characters on TV shows. They do grow in the Ronin. Oh, cool. Ronin series.
TMNT does have more serious comics. The last Ronin was a good example of it. Each TMNT series does have them mature over time. It's one of the consistent good points that the series has. Characters with development. Interesting.
I respect that. I feel like they're really iconic, good American storytelling, and we don't have a whole heck of a lot of that.
As is true.
Although at the same time, I feel like once we do have a good story, we stick with it, and then we just keep doing everything possible in that time or in that IP.
Yeah.
Like, look at how many ways Ninja Turtles have come back or come around in new light or rejuvenate. And other things. My Little Pony came back.
Yup.
Transformers came back. Everything just sort of gets means tested at some point, and in earlier times in our culture, we'd say, well, that was really nice. Now, what else can we make? And today we say, well, I don't want to take a risk. So how do we make this one again for another 5 years? We already know everybody loves it.
Yeah.
Rod says, I only watch the Japanese version now. So I know about Kamen Riders, but that's different than Power Rangers, right? They're different shows. There's like a Japanese Power Rangers too, right? Originally from Japan.
I don't know enough about TMNT. It was never on my radar as a kid.
It's good. From the TMNT that I've explored. Batman vs. TMNT was okay. The life expectancy of turtles? Oh, do they only live to be teenagers? Oh, Super Sentai is the name of the Power Ranger show. Gotcha. Wait, did they bring Kamen Rider over too? I've never heard of Masked Rider. Is that the American localization?
Kennedy says you should look up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pet ice cream cat.
What?
TMNT has been rebooted a lot.
Yeah.
As known on a TV show, but how long do we give Activision before it reboots Modern Warfare for a third go around?
Right. Jay says, why make something cool and use your own creativity when you can make something, make more money? Rookie mistake. Right. Yeah, so when somebody else has already tested that something's cool, just buy the rights, do it again, give it a different director, a different main actor.
I mean,
Actors always be getting older, so, go find somebody young that wants to do it.
I mean, isn't that what Disney did with Star Wars?
Yeah, pretty much. Just handing the torch, basically, right? Like, every character had somebody to, hand down. I agree, TMNT is GOAT. Well, then it would be TMNG. Did anybody ever do a GOAT parody on the Turtles?
They're just standing around staring blankly at walls and eating all the furniture.
Or conjuring awful demons and shit like in Goat Simulator.
Oh, God.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Gerbils.
Oh, God.
That just sounds adorable. As long as they don't eat their own young.
But that would be going against their nature, wouldn't it be?
Gerbils don't eat their own young?
No, you said as long as they don't.
Oh, yeah, I don't want them to be on the show and chomping on their babies.
But you're asking them to go against their nature.
Yeah, well. The Ninja Turtles went against theirs. They learned the ways of ninjutsu.
Maybe all
Jay
turtles are technically destined to learn ninjutsu.
Oh.
It's just they can most turtles can never find a good enough teacher, enough patience.
So the real tragedy is that there aren't enough splinters in the world.
Yes.
Or otherwise we'd have Ninja Turtles out the wazoo.
Yeah.
Oh. So it's the opposite of the Buffy problem. Buffy is like a universe filled with Watchers, but only has one Slayer at a time for the majority of the mythos. And this is all Slayers, no Watchers.
Yep. When we were in high school, there wasn't a good TMNT series on. Turns out Transformers is a new comic run going. I got the first volume at an event at my local store event. Free comics with the purchase of a certain level. Nice.
Jay says if only people would leave their own authenticity and make new. Oh, leave. I think I know what you mean. Like get their own authentic stuff, make it new. Yeah. I mean, some people do, but it usually doesn't take off as easily. It's hard to get people to back you these days.
Yeah.
Whereas I think before you could shake somebody's hand, have a little gumption, and with the right connections or the right luck, you could be the next breakaway. Having breakaway these days, or virality out of nowhere, is a little bit harder.
You kind of have to already have your foot in the door, or you have to know somebody.
Yeah, especially when the rich people that used to dump money into risks now don't want to do that. I think investors used to be riskier. Oh, they're screaming. Oh yeah, the ninja goats would definitely be just screaming.
So much goat screams.
Oh, live in their own authenticity. Yeah. Stuart's very excited for the last Ronin TV show and the game coming out. Oh, there's a game too. Cool. Isn't there another game that's made by the people that made Shredder's Revenge? Didn't they recently remake something? I mean, not remake, but work on another IP recently. I thought I remember seeing that. That Ninja Turtles game was pretty good. I really wanted to play more of it, but I think everybody else burnt out after like one playthrough, which is unfortunate.
Kennedy.
Oh, you know what it is? I think they redid. Not redid. They did a new Ninja Gaiden.
Kennedy says, so the event that makes the Turtles in the original comics is actually the same event that binds and gives powers to Matt Murdock, Daredevil. It's not official because they're two companies, but the art of the event is the exact same. And it's been quasi-confirmed by the comic artists.
Interesting. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound? Is this the one? Let's say it's on Steam.
Armand says also picked up a Karai comic, TMNT side story, daughter/granddaughter of the Shredder trying to lead the Foot after he was defeated after the final time. Interesting.
There's actually multiple games similar to TMNT Turtles in Time. There's even one coming out soon. All in the Turtles IP, you mean? Jay says, I heard about that game. It's going to be awesome. Oh, Theory of Ooze dripping from the sewers is supposed to be the same toxic waste. Ew. So awesome to think about that crossover, I guess. Oh, are we fighting? Oh, my bad. Pause this. Shouldn't be doing this while also trying to heal somebody.
Nonsense. It's not like you're playing a Critical Role.
Critical Role. She said the name of the...
Somebody else's podcast.
Yeah, somebody else's IP.
Ew, it's a bot.
Smush it. Smush it underfoot.
Oops, Oz caught a bot. Also confirmed by the bad ninjas in TMNT about being the Foot Clan and Daredevil's evil ninjas being the Hand.
Nice. Could be somebody's doing some cheeky fan fic stuff or fan theory stuff behind our backs and seeing if anybody will catch on. I've definitely heard of companies getting together and doing that kind of like backroom pool. Like, we'll make this strategy up and we'll see if anybody actually catches on to all the little clues that we dump over the course of time. Let's see what happens. Some people don't catch those Easter eggs or those little mysteries for years, too.
Right.
There's still people finding out secrets about, like, old school comics and movies and even like video games. Oh, I had one too. Thanks, Stuart. Thanks for taking me to the clinic and getting rid of that bot.
Boil.
The boil bot.
Cardiovascular sextant.
Excuse.
That's what it was. That's who it was in yours. Mine was comatose depiction. I put Ice Cream Kitty in show and tell. Let's go check it out. Oh my god. It's kind of cursed and I kind of love it.
Mm-hmm. Dumb, they just have a bunch of bad groups in New York City all named after body parts. Right?
Well, what
They
would be
could've been
really
more clever
funny,
about their names.
what would be really funny is if all of them joined together to create like a mech of everybody together. They could each be the hand, the foot, the
I see what you're doing. You're building a Megazord out of them.
yeah. It's the mega enemy. The real enemy isn't them as individuals. The real enemy is them all together.
That was easy. He spawned back in with no health and just died. Jay says the foot, the hand, the femur, one super bad bud. Got more fungus among us.
I know you would. You're just making a gem ship from Steven Universe. What? Oh,
Yeah,
a little bit.
that too. I mean, that was a smart move on Steven Universe's part to also participate in you're combining things to make a bigger, more awesome thing. Voltron did it. Power Rangers did it.
Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
I don't remember the Simpsons combining to.
No, it was an
more
episode.
Powerful. Oh, what? I know the episode you're referring to,
Yeah.
where they say Simpsons did it. I'm just saying I don't think the Simpsons actually did that one though. Best Incubus album, Fungus Among Us.
Wow.
Do you remember the band named Incubus before Incubus became famous? This is not a Mandela effect. This is a real story. But yeah, there was I think they were maybe death metal or something. There was a band called Incubus. They never, if I remember right, they never copyrighted their name. And then the band that you probably know today is having the name Incubus, which don't really sound a whole heck of a lot like they deserve a sex demon's name for the music that they have. But we could have a whole talk on bands that aren't named adequately for their music. Savage Garden, anybody? But yeah, they just they jumped in, swept up, and stole the name. And then in an interview, I think I remember they made fun of the other Incubus, saying, well, their music wasn't even that good, so, you know, it's just a matter of time before somebody came and stole the name that they never officially copyright claimed properly. I'm going to fact check that one, just to be sure. Oh, it was a thrash metal band. They actually stuck around. They were formed in 1986 under the name Incubus. And they had to change their name to Opprobrium to avoid confusion. So apparently they probably could have kept going on with the name Incubus. but decided because there was a famous incubus already, they're like, never mind. We're called something else now.
Kennedy says apparently people used to remember Jif peanut butter having the labels as a Jiffy. No, what it is that they are confusing Jif and Skippy.
Oh, that's weird. Never heard of that one before. Never heard anyone called Jiffy. Jiffy just makes you think of Jiffy Lube. And also, it would have to be Jif because that's how the extension for the animated, what do you call it? The animated images got its pronunciation from. They're making fun of the peanut butter. Wait, Jay, did you actually listen to the other Incubus before? I never heard their music.
D, I didn't catch what you just said about Jif.
That it couldn't be Jiffy because the graphics, the animated image has an extension that makes fun of the peanut butter, and even used a motto from one of the peanut butter commercials at the time.
Choosy developers choose Jif.
I think they said specifically, this kind of like dating Jif or when it came out. I think they said choosy CompuServe developers choose Jif.
Gross.
Where the commercial for the peanut butter was choosy moms choose Jif, because I guess it had like less sugar than other peanut butter brands. So it was about like, you know, what do you do for your kids to make sure that they get their best nutrients? You still give them sugar, but you know, you do the one with less.
Hey, yeah, Haley says, or thinking about Jiffy Lube instead of Jif. Let's not forget Looney Tunes versus Looney Tunes with a U-N-E-S.
Why would it be U-N-E-S?
It's not songs.
It's cartoons, right? So
yeah,
that's T-O-O-N-S.
Yeah, cartoons.
And then you have the Fruit Loops thing again. You've got Looney, which they spelled O-O, and Tunes, which they spelled O-O. So, you know, looks fun. Looks fun for kids. Jay says, only because I'm such a big Incubus fan, I went and checked out the other. Got it. You had to see who they won the name from.
Apparently it is T-U-N-E-S.
Oh, it is? I mean, I don't really have a memory one way or the other, so this one's not Mandela-ing for me because I guess I never really paid attention. I just assumed it would be O's all around.
So there is a reason why it is T-U-N-E-S.
Okay.
It has a sister series called Merry Melodies.
Oh, that's right. That does make sense.
So it's just coinciding with its sister series.
Okay. So then the people that think it's Tunes,
or because it's cartoons within this.
Because it is cartoons, but then that completely disregards Merry Melodies.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because Merry Melodies doesn't exist anymore, so there's no context for it.
Oh. What was the difference between the two of them? I just thought they were... Well, I guess I don't know what I thought. I have no idea why they're two different brands.
So also, there's three factors that integrate the confusion for Looney Tunes. There's Tiny Toon Adventures, which is T-O-O-N.
Oh, well that's confusing.
Tunes is a word, it refers to cartoons. And both Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies incorporated music heavily into their cartoons, which might have contributed to the Tunes spelling being mistakenly remembered as Tunes.
Wait, the music being not the right answer now?
It is the right answer. It's saying there's no longer like as heavy of a music element.
Oh, so people don't remember part.
Yeah, they don't have that
Okay.
context.
Looney Tunes one was Wild Tunes because they sang all the time. In the original Looney Tunes, they did a lot of singing. That's what Jay says.
Yeah.
I guess I remember some of them being just song driven or just music driven.
Like the Figaro?
Harbor of Seville.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was literally just, let's just do music from a musical and have no dialogue whatsoever.
Yeah.
Haley says it started out heavily featuring the music rather than the characters speaking. That makes sense. In fact, maybe that would be a holdover from like the way, well, I don't know when it all started, but back in the day, you'd watch cartoons and movies with no sound recorded. So you'd have like a live performance, right?
Yeah.
You'd actually have somebody or some buddies doing the music and trying to keep up with the timing of the movie, which is, to me, that's crazy. I wouldn't be able to handle the pressure.
Yeah.
I've done ADR, I think it's called ADR, for a film before, and that's where you have to replace existing audio bits with voiceover so that it looks like the person speaking on camera is saying the words out of your mouth. A lot of times an actor does it themselves because it's their voice, so you want to hear their voice doing it, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes they pay somebody else to do it. And it's nerve-wracking to feel like you're responsible for getting the lip sync so correct that nobody in the audience is going to go, hey, I don't think they actually said that. Although you can also make fun of that, like Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Huge example of really bad ADR in the Madam Web movie.
Oh? What happens?
Yeah, it was heavily ADR'd to the point where it almost becomes comical.
Oh.
Almost The Room status.
Wow.
So
I'll be right back after these messages.
did anybody fess up as to what was going on?
There was just a lot of changes to the movie apparently, and they didn't know the direction they wanted to go. It's a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man, so there's that.
I see.
It was just a very bad movie.
Also, on here, just it's easier to listen to you guys when you're both
Sure.
streaming.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Would you like me to avoid chiming in, or would you like that if I have something to say?
Go ahead and chime
I'm good
in.
with you chiming in.
All right, that's a rarity.
Wow.
Well, in life, I should say, not from you guys specifically.
Jay says, I like to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. I remember that one.
Yep.
There was a period in my life where there were Looney Tunes on several broadcast TV stations, and I would watch pretty much all of them.
I don't remember where I was, but I did see a child. Like, I was waiting in a waiting room for somewhere, and they had an old Looney Tunes playing, and the kid was just enraptured by it, like he had never seen him before, and I realized he probably hadn't.
Yeah, probably. Something's new to somebody all the time.
Hi, Sass. Thank you for the raid. How was your stream?
Hello, motherfucker.
It was also very jarring when I realized both of you were playing the same game.
We're playing the same game?
No, we're not.
No, when you realized
Oh,
you
that
were.
we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I popped on to your stream. Oh, they're probably doing dailies together or something. And then I go over to Oz's, and she's just like putting spackle on tile, and I'm like, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to do something that was like I could pay attention to it or I could not pay attention to it and it would have zero bearing.
Also me.
Basically, yeah.
Oh.
Haley says, I assumed it was to act as a bridge between silent movies and kids' cartoons so they didn't have to worry about having actors involved. It makes sense. Yeah. Plus, a lot of those old songs they didn't have to pay for. So it was probably pretty cheap to make a bunch of them and see how it worked. See if they actually could survive as a production company, right? Jay says, going up to the TV to change the channels, rotary phone over at grandma's.
Yep.
Why are you showing how old you are right now, man? Just kidding.
I will say there's something I found out I realized I didn't miss until someone pointed out to me. In cartoons in general.
Mm.
Do you know what an animation smear is?
Smear. I haven't heard of that.
No.
term.
So in animation, you'll probably see like pictures of frames from old cartoons. Like Simpsons is a big one where it's just a weird looking image. So it's to simulate motion blur.
Oh,
In
sure.
animation, they will like take a hand, and in one frame, like it'll like look super distended, moving. Let me see if I can get an example.
I've seen this before. It looks pretty weird when you catch them frame perfect.
But they are super important back in the day, but they don't do it anymore because they don't really need to, even though it would still make the art look better.
Why don't they do it so much anymore?
They can do such fast frame rates on it. There's a couple different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it, the art is done via computer now and not by hand.
Yeah.
So instead of having like one frame that's super fast, it's like cool. They just draw it out and let your eyes do the smearing itself.
Gotcha. So you still get smear. It's just on you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wanting to play Raft with some friends. I had 4 people all of a sudden just stabbing at a shark.
Or shark.
I have that game and I just haven't played it yet.
Jay says age ain't nothing but a number. It's true. It's true.
Careful who you say that to. Some people do not like that phrase.
Well, I think when an awful person says it, they're saying an awful thing, and when
Yeah.
a non-awful person says it, they're not. I remember me and my friend growing up talking about growing old, and he said, you know what I really like? I like when you meet an old person that talks to you like you exist, like your ideas matter, and that it's okay to get on a younger person's level, even if they're immature, and just show them respect. He says, I want to be that kind of adult that kind of never forgets what it's like to be younger
Yeah.
and have to interface with adults. And so you're not all like, and just being dumb and uncharitable to younger people because they're young.
Yeah. Hello,
And, that
doo-hoo-hoo.
stuck with me.
And because I haven't done it yet, I want to do my daily wellness check. You guys doing okay?
Today was
Yeah.
a little bit rough in the middle of my day, but I had to have some horizontal not moving time.
Not the fun horizontal kind.
No, not the fun horizontal time.
Okay. Well, I hope you're feeling better. If there's anything I can do, let me know.
Okay. What?
He's open space right now.
Oh,
What?
just a little bit. This boss, you don't have to pay too much attention
Anonymous.
to.
Thank you for gifting 5 gift subs to my community. I appreciate your support. Holy crap. Thank you for giving them the gift of farts and burps. I just hear Teresa laughing in the background.
It's funny.
All you have to do is say fart or burp, and she'll go hee hee hee.
I was trying loud. I didn't think it was that loud.
Phones are sensitive.
Yeah. Nothing sacred anymore.
Not when Teresa's around.
Jay says, I was at a party and nobody knew Bone Thugs and Harmony. Definitely felt old.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I know what Bone Thugs and Harmony is.
Not gonna lie, you don't seem like the kind of person that listens to Bone Thugs.
That's okay.
Also, Oregon weather is fantastic. We have up to 30-degree swings, and it's so annoying me right now.
I like swingy weather, personally.
Do you mind if I ask a question for you guys?
Yes.
Fire away.
Pause mine so I can.
Okay.
What's up?
I also mind.
Well, seeing as both of you are, I would call gamers at least, and both of you are very musically inclined,
Okay.
are there any notable video game songs that stick out to you that you could be like, this is my favorite song from a video game?
There are ones that I have transformed into lullabies when our kids were babies. And so I think those ones kind of stand out to me because they have a different, they have multiple schema now, right? Like I liked them as a game song, and then I liked them enough to like be able to hum them to myself. And then I liked them even enough to expose a tiny brain that's never heard music at all to the sound of my voice singing those songs.
You don't have to call my brain tiny though, but thanks.
You're not one of my babies, my dude.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Wow.
Wow, you're doing a long play then.
Doing a
Well,
real
yeah.
long play. So I used to, and now the taste of that song is sour to my mouth.
Would either of you like to share?
So I can't share that song because apparently the guy DMCA's anybody on YouTube that plays it on their stream.
Well, you just say it.
I don't even want to give him credit.
Or-
D knows who
No.
I'm talking about.
They got, can we just say, like the game it's from?
It's from Uru. It's the library song.
Yeah.
Oh. I heard that guy's a dick.
Yeah.
He is.
I even posted in the description on a couple of my YouTube VODs for the streams where I had to dip audio, who he was, what he or his production company has done, and encourage people, one, to unfortunately not stream missed games online, or two, if they do decide to, don't do it with the audio, don't do it with the music anyways, and for them to tell Cyan what they think of this basically like patent troll asshole musician who wants to jump in and make money off of content creators by basically trying to take a cut of everything that they stream, when, mind you, the
Did he
stuff
not
that we
do all
stream
music?
is free.
Fair use.
Fair use, yeah. What were you gonna say, Stuart?
Doesn't he also DMCA like songs that he didn't create himself?
Yeah.
Does he? I don't know about that.
That's what I thought you said before. Like they weren't even like technically his, but they were in the same game, and so he would like DMCA.
No. I've
No?
had other people try to DMCA songs that I know are not theirs. I had a company, probably a fake company, try to DMCA Harris Heller's stream beats. And I
Wow.
was
Like this is
royalty-
literally royalty free.
literally royalty free. I literally have the license. I even have the license English from Harris Heller's, like, you know, terms of service or whatever. You can find like the official statement that lets content creators know you're allowed to use this, and I posted that in my whatever you call it, appeal, and they backed out. But this guy didn't back out. I appealed to him and I said, hey, this is fair use. You need to back off. This is, you know, don't try to like share money with me on this when I'm not doing this in you know, anything but fair use. I explained my fair use rights, and he denied my appeal. And if I try to appeal again, I can get my YouTube account could get dinged, which
Wow.
I don't care to try to do just to make or work. So I dipped his audio and I replaced it with Kevin MacLeod's audio, who is a prolific royalty-free music maker. If you've ever listened to anything that sounds like stock music in a YouTube video, chances are it was written by Kevin MacLeod. He has thousands of songs that he has put on the internet for people to use for free. All you have to do is give him credit. That's it. He doesn't care about the money.
Yeah.
Or he has money from some other source or something. I don't know.
That's pretty cool though.
But yeah, I gave credit to him instead and took credit away from, or gave anti-credit to the composer in Uru.
That sucks. When having a song you like being ruined like that is that just sucks.
Yeah. I would say, other than that, it's probably the Zelda music from almost any game.
It's kind of hard not to like Zelda music.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my favorite, if I had to name one song from a video game, I would say it would be the Gerudo Desert theme.
Yes, that is a fantastic piece. So D has never played Ocarina of Time.
I am aware.
Not very far. I've touched the game. I just haven't played through it. I definitely didn't get to that part of the game.
It's the song has trumpets, a lot of rhythm. It has kind of a Hispanic feel to it. Has a Spanish guitar in there. Very unique for a Zelda game, where most things are fantasy based.
Yeah,
And it slaps.
it does.
I don't use that phrase lightly.
I don't think you would, considering it sounds like you're using young people speak when you say it.
I know.
Jay offers the Mortal Kombat theme and the Mario theme song. Well, classics.
So Armand says, we're always listening, Teresa. Also, Final Fantasy VII's remakes Airbuster is an orchestral rock masterpiece reimagining of the still more fighting boss theme from the original Final Fantasy VII. I will also definitely be humming Zelda's Lullaby to my children, should I have any. Kevin's music was used for a Kerbal Space Program. Sass says, oh yeah, one of my favorite actual ever songs is made by Kevin. Meatball Parade.
Nice. All of my original YouTube videos that have music were Kevin MacLeod songs. So I owe him a lot to my early YouTube career.
What are the songs that you hum, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was just waiting for everybody else to be done before I said anything. So I have two that I think a lot of people would really like and agree with, and then one that I think would be really confusing. So the one is Terra's theme / overture from Final Fantasy VI. You hear it very near the beginning of Final Fantasy VI when the three mechs, Magitech armors, are traveling through the snow and the credit roll is happening.
I'm aware. I like that song too. It's a good one.
Number two is Gotta Dip Deuces. Love y'all. Jay, you're a legend. Thanks for being here. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for joining in on the conversation. I'll catch you on the flippy floppy.
Have a good night.
There's young people talk.
Stop. That's
It's
old
not.
talk. That's old talk.
That's old people talk, but it was. But yeah.
Yeah. The next one, I'm gonna struggle remembering exactly the name of the theme or exactly where it is, but it is from Chrono Trigger, and I think I remember it being in the woods outside of like medieval Leans Town, whatever the place was called.
I'm not too familiar with the Chrono music. I have heard some of it, I know.
Mhm.
But it is when
unfortunately a game I haven't played yet.
Oh, wow. I just
Actually,
would assume that would be your up your alley.
yes and no. At the time it came out, I never got the game because I wasn't aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I was aware of it, RPGs weren't. I didn't dislike them. I just knew I didn't have the time for most of them.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But I hear that game has fantastic music and is just good overall. I actually tried to buy it recently, only to find that most versions you can buy now suck.
Oh.
Boo.
Yeah. That's actually it was during your stream when I was trying to buy it.
Oh.
Gotcha.
It was when I asked which Final Fantasy I should play and was told to play 3.
3. That's one
Yeah.
I haven't tried.
It's pretty good. It's
I-
unique because you can change classes like you do in online.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
I started with, or I didn't start with, but the oldest one I played is 4. So I don't know what 1, 2, and 3 are like at all.
I would say very similar gameplay wise to 4.
Mm.
However, just the fact that it's like you can change your class at will is kind of different.
Yeah,
So it's kind of hard to have a identity as a character in there.
I could see that. Like it removes the feeling of this is my big DPS, this is my big strong tank.
It is during the time of we want to be Dungeons and Dragons, but a video game for
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Still have a
Right.
pretty good story for the time too.
Oh, good.
So Sass says, music that I remember having the most impact was Doom 2016. That had a fucking fantastic soundtrack, quite frankly.
Yeah. They
Uh,
did that right.
Speaking of games with good music, the devs posted something today about Kingdom Hearts 4 being in progress today.
I am cautiously optimistic.
Armand says, D, go watch the dudes play Garuda Valley in public. I put in show and tell.
Cool. I'll check that
Yeah,
out.
Kennedy
it's
says,
a very good performance.
I had a podcast back in the day. I used Kevin MacLeod music for the intro and outro, and when Spotify bought out my podcast app, Anchor, they copyright struck every episode, even though I credited him appropriately. Petitioned and strikes were removed.
Nice. Although it's really annoying to do. It's kind of like unpaid work to get just the pay that you were deserved in the first place.
Yeah.
I know what that's like. I've removed a ton of strikes against my channel ever since I was got repartnered with YouTube. And it's not fun. I get angry face.
Armand says, I'm still on the beach in Baldur's Gate 3. Haven't played in months, but can't be bothered to commit. Scylla says 9 for me.
Still haven't played that one.
Kennedy says, okay, best VG music, Tetris Type B, the Advent Rising theme, the Golden Sun theme, the Song of Storms, and the Song of Healing from Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask, respectively. Armand says,
Doing just Zelda's Lullaby backwards?
no. I don't think so.
I'm fairly sure.
Oh, no, you might be right.
Yeah, it's Saria's song backwards.
Ah.
It's fun.
Depending on which Final Fantasy 3 you're talking about, there were some continuity issues on import back in the day. Pretty much any song they ever played at video games live. I'm thinking of the Skyward Sword theme. Says Kennedy.
I like it when I ask a question and it makes everyone go, "Oh, me!"
We must be building good communities.
Yeah.
Or I'm good at asking, like, I wouldn't say dumb questions, but like you're good at the deep, like philosophical questions. I'm the fluff piece guy.
You might
Well-
even say fluffer.
Yeah, I was don't.
Yeah.
I was gonna say don't say it. Don't. Oh, you said it.
I said it.
I'm helping you.
Nice.
Wow.
Classy.
Always.
As ever.
So are you ready for the third mystery song that I've hummed as a lullaby to both our kids for a long time?
Sure.
Let's hear it.
Because I think everybody sort of agrees the Square games that are, you know, iconic and beautiful, and remember those songs forever. But the third one that I've also hummed to them is from the SNES import of SimCity. And it's not even a song you hear while you are playing the game. It is the song that you hear when you're just choosing what map to build on. That's the only time you ever hear this theme play. But if you're like me and you spend agonizing time looking over the various maps and going, no, not this one. Oh, I really don't want to play for hours on this place. Then you may know this this song.
I don't think I've ever played a Sims game in my life.
Really?
Really? Interesting.
Oz, you were there when I tried, but I just made a character and watched you play with it.
Oh, you mean Sims like The Sims?
Or SimCity, or Roller Coaster Tycoon, any of those kind of games.
No simulators.
Yeah.
Flight simulators? What about like stuff where you're in something?
If you count Ace Combat,
I don't know that one. I wouldn't know if it feels like a sim or not.
it's kind of, but not really. I wouldn't count it.
Okay.
Lullaby backwards, yeah. Nothing gets more responses than saying something wrong online. Never ask
That's true.
never ask a question, just post what you did with confidence on Reddit and thousands will correct you.
Yep. Right? How do you solve your homework? Ask ChatGPT or tell the internet you did the answer wrong.
Or answer it correctly and get incorrected. Yeah, you'd be incorrected by the internet as well.
Incorrected?
So you can't be corrected if you're already correct, but people will incorrect you.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. You'll always find people that'll be like, that's not right.
And
then
they're
they'll rank.
super wrong.
I'm literally a scientist in that field, and what you're saying is exactly wrong. Of course, they're just lying.
Yeah. Apparently my two nieces / nephews, unknown sex as of yet, will be strawberry size on Friday. Yay. Unrelated, sorry. Will they taste of strawberry?
And would the womb be considered the strawberry field forever?
Only if they're never birthed.
Dark
No,
as
then the
fuck.
flavor's absorbed into the placenta.
Sorry, I had to. You had to pause and say forever. I'm like, oh, fuck, that got really dark really fast. I'm just going to
Only if
lean
you
into
get
it.
dark,
I'm going to
yeah.
lean into it. I will not apologize for brilliance. Ace Combat is arcade flight, not sim flight.
That's why I said I wouldn't count it.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on which one you're playing, really. I think there's like one or two that's like closer, but it's definitely not like you're hitting all the buttons to make the plane not crash.
How very Wednesday Addams of you. Why, thank you, Kennedy.
That sounds appropriate.
I feel weird that you're using appropriate in the same sentence as talking about Oz.
Like socially appropriate and just accurate are two very different versions of appropriate.
Yes.
Exactly. Should have said accurate. That's accurate.
Okay. I hate wearing the cat head, thanks. I think with me, I'm mostly immune to Mandela Effect. But I believe the reason is because I don't pay that much attention to things if I feel like they don't matter. And so if somebody tells me, no, you remembered that wrong, it's actually this, I'd be like, you know what? Probably.
I don't think I've ever had a situation where I've been Mandela affected. Which is why I had to come up with another question.
You don't think you've ever misremembered anything?
Never. It's because same thing. Or never been like sure I was correct and been like, oh yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way of putting it.
Like I've totally forgotten stuff, but it's like I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a
Like,
lot
I
of
have okay memory.
ego about my memory. That's what it boils down to. I think that's what it is you can't have Mandela Effect without having an ego that you will remember things correctly. And I just don't care.
The closest thing because I'll get like post Mandela Effect when someone shows me a picture that's incorrect. It's like, yeah, that looks right. Well, I guess it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like someone showed me a picture of Mickey Mouse with suspenders on. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess he does wear them. Oh, that's just a fake one? Okay.
Sass says, my favorite thing to do is use a troll account to post Wikipedia word for word and wait for it to be corrected before just posting the screen cap of the article word for word and waiting for the comments to delete themselves. It's just so gratifying. Armand says, do not put a rug between the toilet and the drain pipe. No, you carpet the outside of the bowl. I will end you, Sass.
Yeah, you have to carpet the entire bathroom.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
say
I'm
that,
all about that house.
yeah, that was pretty, it was pretty fucking weird.
I recently fixed somebody's comment online where they missed something or they just didn't understand something correctly.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about macroeconomics is, so riveting stuff that I get myself involved in online. And the person had posted some sort of map involving like the nation's it was a chart of the nation's ability to buy goods in that nation, basically not just your dollars adjusted to each other or basically using a standard like the US dollar. So what would you consider the Chinese yuan if it were converted to US dollars, that sort of thing. But also in terms of what's the cost of living there. And that's called PPP, purchase, what is it? Something purchase parity. And it takes both of those into account. And this one American jumped into the conversation and was like, that's all well and good, but the U.S. being so high up on that chart, you have to realize how expensive things are here for everybody. The average American just can't afford things. And this is just not fair. It portrays us in the wrong light. And I couldn't help myself and just, replied, they literally did account for that though, right? That's what PPP is in case things do cost more, this number makes up for it. So I just posted that's literally what PPP is, and everybody sided with me. And this person, instead of deleting their comment, doubled down. And that's when the fun happens, because that's when people, I think, can get really nasty on the internet, just for fun's sake. Then everybody started diving on this person.
Yeah.
Because they went forth to say, listen, all you people arguing like fifth graders, like you couldn't figure out the nuance in what I was saying. And I went ahead and stirred the pot, and I was like, so you mean you're calling everybody fifth graders because you misunderstood the term PPP's definition? And that was just, I didn't have to like say, oh, you're being uncharitable. I just asked the question.
Yeah.
And then everybody in comments went ballistic on this person.
I'm gonna finish my cheesecake and watch Batman versus TMNT again because I need humor today. I have a sweet tooth, D.
Yeah, me too. I didn't want to say anything. I was like, I'm just going to try to be good. And by be good, I mean just deny telling you anything about what I really feel.
Oh, I see.
Communication is key.
I
But it's
know.
Haley says, my memory is awful, so I remember things wrong anyway. I write down, or not write, because, you got your phone on you at all times. I just put stuff in my phone at all times and say, this is what I have down. Not this is what I remember. This is what's in my phone. And if it's not in my phone, I'll believe anything anybody says. If they're like, oh, it's not this way, and I go, yeah, it is. Let me look at my phone, and I don't have it in my phone, I'll concede the point. Even if I'm convinced I'm right, I'll just concede the point because I have
Because
no idea.
you have no way to back it up.
Yeah, well, my brain is just that bad with memory. That,
I know.
I need proof. Yeah, I know you know. I'm telling the people that don't know me.
You don't know, D.
You don't know my Swiss cheese brain.
That. And because I was just thinking like, I've had to correct Haley a few times on things, and Haley's just, oh yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm that person that will remember like very specific details.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you doing gardening, Oz.
Haley says, I'll put so many notes. I was a note taker before, a big note taker. Yeah. So many notes, or keep so many internet tabs open on my phone so I can remember what I was thinking about or trying to find. Yeah. I used to have all sorts of sticky notes all over everywhere, or like scrap pieces of paper everywhere. And that got to be such a garbage system. Like if my fan was running because it was hot and it blew a note onto the floor, I would double book myself or, contradict something. And it's just a bad system. Once smartphones came out and I got one, it was like a life changer for me as far as what I could do with the part that doesn't seem to work with my brain.
I feel like you've also just like you don't like you and I were having a conversation the other day where you're like, does it bother you that I don't like learn the streets around our house?
Yeah.
And it's
Not
just
learn the streets or the street names.
Either.
he doesn't learn how to go anywhere without maps. Because he's got
Don't know
maps.
street names, but I can remember most like back alleys, and I'm good at remembering maps in general.
Mm-hmm.
He has what's the word?
Selective memory.
No, where you've used something else to remember it for you.
Tool.
No.
No, there's a phrase I can't remember what you're thinking. I know what you're trying to say. Associative.
No.
No, not associative memory.
No. It's not
know.
delegated. It's not.
Artificial. I know those aren't the words you're looking for. I don't know what word you're looking for. Churros here. No, not a mnemonic device because I'm not memorizing it myself. A mnemonic
No.
would be, if I had a system for how I could keep the streets in my head. I don't keep the streets in my head at all.
No, you have put it away. You have decided that it is not worth your time to learn because you have a tool that tells you.
Abstracted.
Thank you.
Yes, I've abstracted streets and street names from my brain so I could work on other stuff with my memory. That's not to say that I have such a good memory and I want to devote it to bigger and better things. I have a bad memory. But because I have a bad memory, I do limit what I do with it so that I don't overstress stress it.
Hi, Troa.
Oh, whoops. Well, that was a gap. Hold on. Sas says, so I have an M experiencing actual amnesia, either as a result from or in response to the PTSD, and have irrefutable evidence of internally manufactured memories. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, that's honestly kind of
Scary
terrifying.
to have. So my eidetic memory isn't exactly accurate anymore. No, not at all. If you have proof that it isn't. Yeah, that's a sucky thing to have to live with.
Yeah.
Tro says I only heard part of what we were guessing about, so I wasn't sure on the deets. The word mnemonic came into my head too, but I was like, no, that's not it. Yeah, I since I'm working kind of 3 jobs for a while. At the end of last year, I was working 4 of sorts, and each one of them involves some separate things to like memorize and systemize and plates to juggle. That's a lot of memory and other structures I have to do. I don't do it all with memory either. I have many help articles and sub systems within systems that I use to keep track of all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not fun. And then to think that there's something else out there that I could memorize, like the city streets around my home, which seems like a reasonable thing to memorize. I've put it away for so long because my phone does that one so trivially. And it does it in ways that I can't memorize, which are like, there's a really bad trafficy area in the next city over, and we don't know if when we're driving into that area, we will have really, really bad traffic until we get stuck in it. But there is an alternate route around. In fact, there are 2, and maps will always choose the optimal path for us before we can get there and get stuck. So my reliance on using mapping functionality is actually also beneficial so that I don't choose something that would ultimately get us trapped.
I feel like you'd be a very good case for why we need AR.
Oh, I love AR. I've been waiting for AR ever since the concept passed my ears. What I've always wanted is some sort of HUD over my own vision. I don't care if it's contact lenses, goggles, an entire helmet. I'll wear anything. I'll look stupid and douchey as all get out just to have this.
It'll tell you everything.
What?
You said you'll wear anything.
Yeah, I'll wear a Tesla all metal angular helmet on my head. No, I won't do that. Let's draw the line somewhere.
You gotta have some self-respect.
Yeah, some dignity. But the idea behind just having like things up all the time to be able to say, you know, you look at a storefront and you get the average review and highlights of what's being sold in there, and like the general price, just at a quick glimpse, so that you don't even have to pop in and try to like spend some time in the store. A lot of retail stores are set up so that once you pop your head in, they're already doing psychology on you, right? They pick certain colors and smells, and a salesperson might approach you with a certain phrase. So they've already got some subtle hooks in you the moment you set foot in. If you can anti-hook them and get information about them just looking through your HUD from the outside, boom, you're a lot better off. Let's say you really care about interpersonal relations and you bump into somebody at a party or a restaurant or grocery store line, you can't quite remember who they are, but you really want to, and your brain would have done it if your brain brained better. Wouldn't it be great if your HUD was just like, here's this person's name, here's the association you know them through, you know, you used to work at this job 2 jobs ago together, and, you know, the last time they talked with you, their kid was a big soccer trophy winner, and so you can ask them, like, hey, is little Billy still rocking the soccer federation, or what's going on there? So stuff like that. I would love to have just a persistent HUD giving me that kind of information. Weather forecast, trivial, then you never have to talk to anybody about the weather ever again. It's a stupid conversation topic anyways. Yeah, all sorts of details just come over your interface the whole time. You'd never miss an appointment. You'd have your whole day plan there for you as you need to observe it to keep yourself in the loop. Haley says I googled how Oz was explaining it, and that's how I got to that term, but I never heard it until now. Oh, gotcha.
Mandela Effect. Monopoly Man has a monocle or no?
I don't think he does. Why would he have a monocle?
Because he's fancy.
He's not fancy. I think he has a top hat, right?
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
not fancy.
No.
Mr. Peanut has a monocle, if I remember right. Mr. Peanut, that's fancy. That's like caviar tastes right there.
Didn't
But
Mr.
the
Peanut die? Mr. Peanut's dead, I think.
oh, okay. Did he have a peanut allergy?
No, he crashed in a truck or something.
Oh,
No, I think it like in one of the commercials, he canonically died.
interesting. Troy says we just got the backstory of how Damien got the Darth Vader helm. Does that guy is he supposed to have a HUD through those eye pieces? It looks like he should.
Yeah, Mr. Peanut died in 2020.
Oh, okay.
He got
It was
COVID.
announced in the Super Bowl.
He got COVID.
Wow. He got COVID
No, I think
in a truck crash.
104 years old. It shows him like falling off a cliff.
Damn. Sucks to be him.
So suicide after contracting COVID.
He's hanging next to Don Cheadle and somewhere else. Like he's
Wait, huh?
in the Grand Canyon, hanging onto a branch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Don-
know what I'm looking at. I was just told this, and it's the first time I'm actually seeing it.
Is Don Cheadle still with us?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
it's
good.
Wesley Snipes. Sorry, bad quality on video. Matt Walsh and Wesley Snipes, yes. Don Cheadle is with us. He is War Machine, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, a really fun character in the MCU. Semi underrated.
You're a fun character.
I've heard that once or twice. Or that I am a character.
Yeah. At least you are a character.
You're a
Whether or not your
character.
fun remains to be seen.
One crime I have not committed is being boring.
That's an interesting way to start a sentence.
You know me, I always try to have clever ways of saying stuff. Usually fail, but I try.
I'm not confessing to any crimes, but
I've littered once or twice in my life, I'm not gonna lie.
I believe you. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, where the helmet is put on, you see the red HUD that he sees inside the helm as it's being put on Anakin for the first time.
Yep.
Also explains why when Luke takes it off so Vader can see him with his own eyes. Gotcha. Imagine that the HUD had to tell him who Luke was. He didn't
Who's this
actually have...
Who is this kid?
Yeah. Oh, this says... Wait, Ancestry.com's coming back to me on this kid. Wait, what? Oh, I gotta tell him. Because this is going to be real funny.
That's there.
We're going to laugh about this later.
The Luke, I am your father line that never existed.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. I think people just, they misremember and squish together movies all the time. That one
That's true.
doesn't surprise me. everybody misremembers all sorts of lines, like the mirror line from Snow White, right?
What is the mirror line? Isn't it mirror, mirror on the wall? Tell me who's the fairest of them all.
Isn't it magic mirror?
That's definitely not it.
I know, I was saying it incorrectly.
Yeah, however you said it, that degenerate way was definitely not correct.
Damn, I was hoping I'd get someone. Like, oh, is that how you say it?
Well, somebody in chat might have followed along with you.
I
So
mean,
what
that-
is the official actual line for
I
that?
believe it's magic mirror.
I think it is magic mirror on the wall. Tell me who's the fairest of them all.
Let's see. Yeah, magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
To be fair, I've only
be
seen
fair.
that movie once or twice in my life.
To be fair, to be the fairest one of all.
Thank you, thank you.
His force predictions are actually generative AI. I mean, if they're gonna retcon midichlorians into the force, then yeah, let's just also go ahead and add AI in there too. Nico. Hi and welcome, my dude. This is where the fun begins. Where? Where exactly? Can you show me on this teddy bear?
Wow.
How's it going, Uncle Nico? I'm gonna play a clip.
I'm actually going to be cutting my stream here pretty soon because I am nodding off. I've had an emotionally and physically exhausting day today.
I'm sorry that we're boring you.
It's not.
I blame Stuart.
Yeah, I blame Stuart too.
Curious George doesn't have a tail since when? Yeah, he's a monkey without a tail for
George.
some reason.
I wouldn't blame them for mixing chimps and monkeys. Just getting that confused. I mean, it's just a kid author or kid's book author, right?
I believe
sure why. Saw the clip and was like, wait, let's go play with us.
We're playing in two different circles.
Yeah. And I feel like never the twain shall meet.
Playing online and just kind of go, oh.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. That's how it do.
As much as I hate this phrase, it kind of is what it is.
How dare you?
Time life be that way.
The book says mirror, mirror. Oh, okay. Haley's got the deep lore on that.
Okay.
But remember,
So it's actually both quotes. Depends on if you're talking about the movie or the book. Yeah. Interesting.
Wow. That's a lot of cockroaches.
What? In
My
your
game.
Thank you. Just making sure it wasn't like in our house.
I would have much more of a strong reaction if it was in our house.
Yeah, that would be kind of a pretty heavily Xanaxed reply if you actually found cockroaches and like, wow, that's so many cockroaches, you guys.
oh, did I forget? Are you a screamer at bugs like Teresa is?
No.
I can always tell when Teresa has found a spider or a bug just because I hear, wah, wah, it is like screaming.
Interesting.
It's not like one solid like yell. It's like, oh, it moved. Ah, it moved. It's moving. Kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I might have at some point been more aversive to bugs. But then I had children who like to pick up bugs and like to bring them in the house and like to hand me bugs.
True.
I found this black widow.
More like, here, I found this for you. And they hand me a live millipede that's like 3 inches long.
Yeah.
At least it's not a centipede. Millipedes.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It is a centipede with the one where you can actually like see their legs moving.
Oh, those can be dangerous.
Yeah, some of those are poisonous, right?
Yeah, not around us though.
No, they're venomous.
Sorry, venomous. I knew somebody was going to correct me on that.
I had to.
No, I appreciate the
No, but some
pedantry.
are actually poisonous too, I believe.
Okay. If this stream can't be pedantic, then no stream can.
Hey, you know me. I like being pedantic when I'm given permission.
Yes, always.
But no, centipedes also have huge mandibles and a very, very painful bite depending on their size.
Yeah. They mostly find them when they're dead because they mostly drown when it rains really heavily.
Yeah.
Good. Fuck centipedes.
And I'm talking like we'll find like 30 of them or 40 of them in our yard.
We get plague amounts of insects here.
Yeah.
I will say centipedes have bigger fangs than a lot of snakes.
We also have snakes.
Yeah.
That's good.
They generally live in the high brush areas. So
We
as
have
long as
we
you
have some in
know-
our side yard, in our
Oh,
bushes.
I should look up the types you have. Or do you know what types of snakes tend to live near you?
Well, I know that the type of snake that's living in our yard it was like gray. It was either gray with a black stripe down its back or black with gray stripes down its back.
Sounds like a gardener snake, but I would have to see it in more detail.
Yeah. I'm just vacuum up all these cockroaches. If I suck them into my vacuum, they don't exist, right?
Right.
If I
About that.
There's actually a setting on this game where it said, like, when I first was gonna encounter roaches, it said, if you have a fear aversion to cockroaches, you can go into settings and you can make them all turn into bits of glass.
All right. Oh, bits of glass cockroach.
Oh, you have some pretty interesting snakes.
Yeah.
It's a very snakeful state here. And we do have neighbors that like to keep high grass, so you know, it's definitely a snake habitat around here too.
You guys have one of the prettiest snakes. Look up the rainbow snake. It's a non-venomous. That one and the mud snake is pretty cute. It's like black on top with like red and black stripes on its lower body.
That
Oh,
sounds
you got
nice.
hog noses.
Those are
Yeah.
cute.
I love hognoses. They're such fucking drama llamas.
Also non-venomous.
Yes.
You may have been seeing your Eastern king snake. It's like black with white stripes? You said.
No, so it's gray with black stripes running down its length.
That might be a queen snake then. Here, I'll send you a picture. I believe this is the one you're referring to. I don't know if you know this, but I used to really like snakes.
No, did not know.
I was going to be a herpetologist, then
Oh.
a marine biologist, and then I just said, nah, that's too much work.
No, that's not the snake. I can send you a picture of the snake.
Was it like a very small snake?
It was a pretty small snake.
It could have been a ribbon snake.
Let me see.
Have you ever tried to find something on the internet and the internet just doesn't have the answer for you? Like,
Yes.
To
For Steven Universe in Chinese.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about that on stream, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was on stream, but it was me just trying to look up stuff for you.
Yeah. I tried to find that like everywhere. Everywhere. I even contacted Cartoon Network customer service. Like, hey, what kind of money do you need me to pay to get specifically the Taiwanese version? Because I don't want the mainland China version one if it exists for reasons.
I think you would need to get a VPN most likely.
So I tried downloading a free VPN and checking Cartoon Network, and I couldn't find a way to buy the series there either. Like, they were still airing the series, and so I couldn't even watch like a full episode.
They're also pretty bad about selling it in English even. I've only ever seen it in like DVD format. I don't think they even made it in Blu-ray.
Seems weird. Seems like such an obvious cash cow.
Same thing for like Adventure Time.
Another obvious cash cow. Dedicated fan base, rabid.
I will say, Steven Universe is one reason I thought you would enjoy Undertale, for the fact that you could essentially roleplay as Steven, just being, hey, can we be friends?
Yeah, kind of. I could see that. There's less emotional development, though. Everything's kind of more for a laugh.
I mean, so far.
I suppose.
I don't know if it's going to change, but the way people talk about the game makes me think there might be something. I don't know.
Are you saying like you legit don't know how this game goes?
I know how it ends vaguely. I watched the brother end it, but I was just semi-watching. I know like all the memes and like I know characters, but I don't know I know like one or two secrets on how to keep someone alive.
Okay.
But that stemmed from me being like, oh, I like this song. Oh, it's to this character. Didn't you just fight Miss Muffet?
Yes.
I was lurking at the time. Did you finish that fight?
Yes.
Did you succeed in not ending them?
I maybe. I spared them.
Okay, you did spare them.
Yeah.
That was one character I knew how to spare. That's
Okay.
one of the few.
Yeah.
Since it's post thing, could I tell you what I knew? See if I was correct?
Sure.
You have to use.
I'll be right back after these messages.
In the fight.
You don't have to use it.
I hear it makes it much faster then.
Maybe. So
It's like, you like spiders? Cool.
Yeah, at some point, the spider confers with its pals, and knows that you had at one point made a purchase from them.
Oh, nice.
But you don't actually need to use it in combat. If you do, I don't know what happens because I didn't have that to use. Didn't have that option available to me.
You used it pretty early. I didn't. That's one of the cases where it's like, don't say anything, don't tell him to save it, let him figure it out.
Yeah. Stuart, so what we have is a very juvenile one of these that I sent you. It is the Eastern garter snake.
Yeah, that's the one I posted.
Yeah. Which one?
The top one, the first one I showed you.
That one is more brown than the black that I saw, which is why I said
that one
it.
looks like it was wet, or it just because they do come in different shades technically.
Yeah.
Not all exactly the same, but those actually make very good pets. Or at least decent pets that can't really hurt you, other than giving you like small little tiny puncture wounds.
Yeah.
Like Teresa's been bitten by our snake a couple times. It's usually when like Teresa's holding Big Boss and sneezes, spooks the snake, and it's like and it just like lashes out really quick.
Yeah.
And Teresa doesn't notice it. For like, oh, I'm bleeding. What the hell? Oh, he bit me. It literally just feels like you're getting touched by something. It's so fast.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. Those are cuties, though.
Yeah.
They probably don't get terribly big. They're
No.
great to have around your house because they'll keep rats and roaches away, actually.
Yeah.
I do like keeping the roaches away. And our cats won't do it.
Yeah.
They look at the size of the cockroaches and they're like, I'm not touching that.
Dude, they look at the size of our wolf spiders and they're like, no.
Wolf spiders are also really good for keeping the roaches away.
Yeah, no, dude, we get some fucking huge wolf spiders out here.
So maybe we just need to decide whether we prefer having cockroaches or wolf spiders all over the house.
So, tip with handling spiders. I don't particularly like doing it. I like spiders, but I don't go on my way to pick them up or anything. For the most part, long as you're a stable, thing for it to crawl on, and do not put any pressure on top of them,
Sure.
they have no reason to bite.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not gonna feel your heartbeat through their feet and be like, "Oh, I need to bite this living thing."
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm on something alive right now. I need to not fuck up unless it's trying to kill me too."
Yeah. I bought a paper cutter today.
True.
It's called scissors.
No. One of those, like, where you push down on the blade thing.
Yeah, scissors.
Wow.
No.
How dare you show it on stream to make me look like a fool?
Yes, how dare.
Proud of you.
How dare you lie to me about it, too.
You know me. I have to keep you on your toes.
This is true.
I think she's on her toes.
No, she's on her butt.
And
No, I'm on,
toes.
I'm sitting on my foot, actually.
There you go.
Gross.
Her butt's on her toes.
Stinkfoot.
Stink foot, doodaloo-doo-doo.
Wow.
But let me do butthole.
So it says, I'm slowly refilling all my crystal decanters. Nice. Half of them are full as of today. What you putting in them? I've forgotten how pretty that table is when the light hits it while those are full. Nice. Spooters and snakes aren't scary to me unless they're being aggressive.
Yeah.
I agree.
I
mean,
my whole thing is like, I don't mind snakes. I don't mind snakes unless I'm unprepared. I don't mind spiders as long as they're not directly on me. Like, if it's a teeny tiny spider and I find it on me, I'm like, it's not a big deal. If I find anything bigger than like,
pinky nail.
even a pinky nail is kind of big.
Like, I'm talking about like a jumping spider. If I found a jumping spider, they can get fairly big, but it's like, oh.
Yeah, no, if it's like a wolf, if it's like a baby wolf spider, I don't have an issue with it. If it's an adult wolf spider, fuck that shit.
It also depends on where you are. Like, if you're in bed, it's like, get the fuck out of here.
I have told Dee, if our kids want to get like a tarantula or something, I don't have a big deal about it. But if that thing gets out and I wake up and it's on me, I can't guarantee that they're gonna have a spider anymore.
Yeah. True.
If you want an exotic pet, I will advocate, and I'm sure Crims would as well, for a bearded dragon.
I have
If you
a
want some
picture of
tips.
Oz holding a bearded dragon recently.
Yeah.
The only downside is they can smell really bad.
Yeah,
Um,
I have a couple of friends with bearded dragons.
When they poop, it's just bad.
I
If
mean,
you want
any
something much
reptile,
slower moving,
any reptile, when it poops, it smells really bad.
actually, as far as I can tell from living with it, the leopard gecko that we were given by our friend Johnny feels like a cat. It kind of does its own thing, and it's very low maintenance, but they're kind of dumb. They don't bite or anything. They just kind of chill when you pick them up. They also are very good lizard pets.
Interesting.
And I'm sure Teresa would be thrilled to see your scale baby if you ever got one.
Tro says the crystal decanters that he's filled so far are bourbon, scotch, vodka, gin, tequila, and both spiced and silver rums. Nice. I can see that making a nice visual aesthetic with the light.
That's that he has a genie.
A genie named Shazam.
You said gin.
Oh, gin? Yeah. Oh, gin. I see what you did there.
See, I'm not reading it, so I can make that assumption.
Mm-hmm. And categorically, it makes sense to talk about a lot of different liquors and then talk about a supernatural being.
To be fair, I would do the same thing.
That's true.
Also, Kennedy, I hear you're here for your ooh.
Oz want to be forced to eat a candy.
No, because I'm about to end stream.
Okay, I won't do it then.
As long as it's not one of those big ones that could slice a hand off, that's cool. No, we have one of those, but it disappeared from where it lives. And I don't really want to talk to the person who actually owns it because that means that I have to interact with them, so I'm just not going to.
Yeah.
Avoiding issues that you don't have to deal with.
Yeah.
I paid $23 to not have to talk to a person and to not have to talk to them about it at all ever again. So
Ever
that's
again, yeah.
worth it to me.
Yeah.
And what I am doing is I am going to be making bookmarks. I'm going to be I'm cutting out some paper and I'm laminating them, and then I'm going to be creating some charms from some of my like jewelry stuff. Especially some of the stuff that like I was only able to acquire like one of something.
Tro says sometimes when the light hits it, you get a rainbow from the crystal, but it's colored by the booze, so you get a spectrum of a spectrum. Oh, neat. That's fun.
Oz, do you do rings?
So I don't have the means to properly do rings of the caliber that I would desire. I can do like one wire wrapped bead in a ring, but I can't do like nice rings. I don't know.
I want to be able to buy something from you, but I don't have piercings. Don't plan on getting piercings, and necklaces always get caught.
Okay.
Maybe a hair charm? No, I wouldn't wear that either. And that would be a Teresa thing, though.
We can talk. Yeah.
I'd hope so.
I mean, like, I can try to talk. I guess that's more accurate.
Also, just me wanting to support you, mostly.
I
Not
appreciate
needing
it.
jewelry.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes, Tro, the Mandela Effect is what we're discussing tonight. Essentially, things that you remembered a certain way when you were little or younger, and now you go back and look at them, and they are dramatically different, and you doubt that could possibly be the case. So earlier tonight we discussed the Berenstain Bears versus Berenstein. Joanne versus Joanne's. What else did we cover? Mirror, mirror on the wall versus magic mirror.
There's simple visual ones too, like I was mentioning the Mickey Mouse no suspenders, or
Oh, yeah.
Oz brought up the Pringles can with, or Monopoly guy with monocle.
Mm-hmm. You also have
Also
the
some people
cornucopia. Cornucopia on the
Mm,
Fruit of the Loom
mhm.
characters.
It's always interesting being on the right side of the Mandela Effect and just being like, am I the wrong one?
People going, you're on the alternate timeline.
Am I on the original, like the new timeline? I don't know why, but I feel like Oz would like this. I'll send it to you too, just in case.
All right. Tra says, buying a house rather just affording anything my parents could at my age. I think that's a little bit different. That does feel like something that we believed could happen, and definitely doesn't seem like it's possible now.
Yeah.
But I also feel like we are rewriting a little bit of history in our favor when we say people could buy like starter houses when they first started out. I don't necessarily come from that kind of background with money, so that might be the case for some families, but it was not like an American standard that people could just get a job out of high school and have a house. Some people just didn't have those kinds of means. But that story isn't as sexy. Do we have a crisis with real estate prices right now? Yeah. So it also wouldn't make as much sense to keep up the narrative of not everybody could afford a house back then, because while true, well, I guess we should put both into perspective.
Yeah.
Yes, people could not afford houses back then too, because they were too expensive. But yes, there's also a crisis now, and it's good to know both, because it's not necessarily as straightforward a story as people want to make it, minimize it out to be. But then, what story ever is as simple and clean cut as that?
Yeah.
They're not fun when they're not clean cut.
Oz, so I was gonna say, since Oz is closing soon, instead, would you be more awakened by a group activity?
Are you
Me?
asking Oz because she's not awake?
I mean, probably. Why? What are you suggesting?
I was just asking. I'm okay if you don't want to, but we could Rivals, or we could also Repo, or if there's other games you would prefer.
Well, part of my struggle right now is that I know that I really should be getting to bed soon, because I have to be up in less than 6 hours.
Ah, there's the rub.
That is a rub.
And D is going to be on the struggle bus, because D is only going to be getting a little bit more than 3 hours of sleep.
True.
At least he'll hit his REM cycle.
Yeah, it's better than some nights.
Yeah.
Definitely since the change, it's my sleep's better.
Well, that's the. If you feel like you would like to, we could start soon. I don't know who would want to participate, but I always appreciate when we play together.
I could be down.
I've never really had people who would like, oh, we should play this online game together. It's always like, oh, I'm playing this game. What are you doing? Oh, I'm playing that same game.
Yeah, you also play a lot more single player games though too.
I do that. Speaking of single player games, Doom's pretty fun, by the way.
Yeah.
Very good.
D, it says StreamerBot's YouTube quota has been exceeded. I don't know when this popped up.
There's nothing to be done about that. YouTube, or Google, I should say, has issues with giving people full access to API calls. They've limited StreamerBot and what they'll allow StreamerBot to do.
Yeah.
It might mean that some things don't come through for you, like you might run out of chat support or something. To be honest, I'm not quite sure what the implications of that message are, but I see it every
Yeah.
once in a while for myself too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure quite either. But I'm going to head out for the night. Thanks for having me. I'm going to go get some sleep.
Sounds good. Thanks for being here
Yeah.
and participating in the chat.
Yeah. Also, hello, Adrifted Stranger. Sorry, you're catching me just at the end of my stream. But have a wonderful night. Go take care of yourself. Go eat some food. Go drink some water. Scrub your face. Go take a shower. Go take your meds. Whatever it is you need to do for your brain and your body to do the happy brain thing, or at least closer to the happy normal brain thing. Just for the moment. Go take care of you. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Let's go raid Damien. YouTube, have a wonderful evening. I will see you guys on Friday. Have a good night. Bye, guys. Twitch, I will see you as well on Friday. Like I said, be good to yourself. Have a good night, all. Bye.